And we're live.
Hello, everybody.
There's Kittyzilla.
Yeah, I'm talking. See, that's what I'm talking about. Why? Really? The beginning of my stream. Okay, ignore me. Sure.
Yeah. Um, so, welcome everybody that's checking out our video. Appreciate you coming. Today, we are going to continue our conversation about the 2005 anime series, Guyver, the Bioboosted Armor. Today, we're going to be talking about episodes 11 through 15. And I realized previously I forgot to mention this in our last videos, but spoilers. If you haven't seen it yet, we are going to be talking about everything going on. So,
Spoilers. Everyone who has not seen this series, spoilers.
yeah.
Get out of here. You don't want to get spoiled.
So, um, but hopefully, us talking about it and describing what's going on will encourage you to seek out the anime series and check it out yourself. It's a very good series, even if it's a little goofy at sometimes. Um, so again, if you're new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe. And with all that, we'll get started with episode 11. So at the beginning of episode 11, let's see, we were so at the end of episode 10, we saw pretty much everybody getting captured. Sho's dad and Tetsuo and Mizuki.
Yeah.
So, and then a strange man shows up to talk to Sho. So that's where we're picking up with episode 11. So we find out that the stranger's name is Masaki. And everybody, Sho's dad and Tetsuo and Mizuki have all been brought to Mount Minakami, which is also known as Relic Point. So what were your thoughts kind of coming from episode 10 and into episode 11?
Well, it was interesting because we didn't get as much information about the new guy as I wanted to get about him, but it was still interesting because finally we have him now with the main cast, or I guess Sho at this point. So it's all right, now we can probably get some answers or something from this. So
yeah, it was pretty interesting. So not a lot of action right off the bat.
Yeah,
just a lot of dialogue. But what's pretty interesting is, we get Sho and Masaki traveling in his car, and as they're driving to Relic Point, Masaki's filling him in about the location, and apparently the mountain wasn't discovered until after a series of earthquakes in 1965.
Yeah.
So we know Cronus has been around for a long time at this point. We also get to see Tetsuo reading his dad's journal as they're driving, and so we get some of that. And while that's going on, we see Tetsuo explaining to Sho's dad what everything that's been going on, these past 10 episodes. And what's nice is, in my opinion, Sho's dad still remains optimistic despite everything. So what were your thoughts about both of these conversations going
on? No, I like that the episode kind of started off with just them talking, because I was like, all right, we got Sho's dad coming in now, so he needs to understand what the hell's happening, what's going on with his son, what's going on with just the whole scenario. And then we need Sho to hear from this new character, and also again, you have those nice moments where he's reading his dad's journal, so it has that kind of connection between him and his dad. So it's kind of cool that happens, at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I like both of them. Yeah, no, I like those scenes because I know I give the idea that I just want action. I'm like, no, like I want character too.
Yeah.
For the action that actually really make me care about what's happening when the action scenes happen. So that's why. But yeah, no, it was the like have these little
And
quieter moments.
yeah, and you know, going back to Show reading his dad's journal, I mean, you know, we never know what family members are thinking when, you know, we're stressed out, but we're trying to hide it from them.
Yeah.
And stuff. You know, we don't, since they don't always say anything to us, we don't think that they necessarily see it or, you know, and so we don't want to burden them with it, things like that. And that's played out here. You know, Show's dad notices in his journal saying, "Hey, I noticed something's different about my son. He's not his usual self. He must be going through something, but I don't want to push him."
Yeah, exactly.
So I appreciated that dynamic because, I mean, there's some anime series like Bleach where the dad's a total goofball, you know, and then there's other, you know,
from the show.
So yeah, that was pretty interesting. So, so as Tetsuo finishes talking to Show's dad, we see Guido show up, and you know, at first everybody's kind of like, you know, Tetsuo's angry with them and stuff because he knows he's a part of Kronos and everything like that, and then he's like, "Hey, like I'm against them, and to prove it, here's what I'm going to do." And so he transforms right in front of them all.
Yep.
So,
Bioboost, as he said.
So, you know, so he transforms and then breaks them out and starts helping them trying to escape. So, like, what were your thoughts when this popped up?
Well, and well, at first I was kind of like expecting like Agito to like kind of like take a bit longer in this scenario, but then like he just went like, you know what? No, I'm against them. So here's my Guyver suit, and I'm gonna help you guys. I'm gonna help you get you out of here. So I was just like, oh, okay, wow, all right, that was faster than I expected. I thought it was going to take a little bit longer, but okay.
Yeah.
So, but again, like in this part of the series, you kind of are still questioning his motives. You're like, okay, are you full on a good guy, or are you like doing this just to help you in the long run?
Well, and then, you know, shortly after this, while they're running down the tunnel, he's thinking to himself, I need to do this that way I could keep Guyver 1's powers in my, you know.
Yeah, so that way he can still be on the good side. So he's just like, if I get rid of them, I could like outrun them, but I still need him to think of me as an ally, so I won't do that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that you know, Tetsuo confronts him and is like, "Hey, why did you hide who you are from us?" And he's like, "Well, hello." Work for Kronos. Like, they're like everywhere.
After you this entire time. Like, if I told you about who I was, they'd probably come after me next. So it's just like, what do you want me to do about that?
So, let me see. So, as they're running through these lovely, lovely tunnels, they come across 5 men standing in front of them who transform into 5 new hyperzoonoids. So, what were your thoughts when you saw this group pop up?
I was like, oh, these look different than the other ones we've seen before. Because I was like, oh, okay, so these are kind of like upper ones, like the one we saw at the school that attacked the school.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so like they've created more. Because we already knew that they were starting to like update zoonoids because we've like experienced like differing like upgrades of zoonoids. So like this was not like that new to me. Yeah. But I was still like, all right, at least we get some different designs from like the usual like rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Zoltar designs that we've been seeing over the past couple episodes. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, the cannon fodder ones.
Exactly. I'm like, just change it up, please, guys. Like, come on. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, this is cool. Like, I think, like, I really like the one in the middle. Like, that one I think is really cool. But I also really like the rhino kind of looking one.
Yeah.
On the right.
Yeah. It is pretty interesting that they all have their own kind of unique designs, and they're not just variations of each other either.
No, I'm glad I did that because I'm like, it makes them stand out more rather than just like, yeah, just like the usual cannon fodder kind of designs. Like,
Yeah.
up the designs, guys. Come on.
So, but yeah, this one's like a stag beetle. Like you said, this one's like a rhino. This one is essentially like an electric eel.
I'm about to say, yeah.
The other two, I mean, they're obviously unique, but
Yeah. One looks like Gigan a bit. The other one, I don't know, looks like porcupine. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell it looks like.
So yeah, so they're stopped by this group, and Guyver 3 being who he is, he thinks that he could just take them
Like,
on.
I could take these guys on. Oh shit! Wait, no, I can't. He just gets pummeled by all of them. He's like, "Oh god, wait, I made a mistake."
So yeah, so basically the episode ends after they have their little tussle with each other.
Yeah,
like you said, Guyver 3 Agito gets knocked around pretty handily.
he gets curb stomped, guys. Understand me? He gets curb stomped pretty badly.
And then all of a sudden there's an explosion, and you have Show in his Guyver 1 suit breaking in. And then
I love the kind of glowing red eyes they gave him too when he came out of the smoke.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, because I got excited first, and then in the back of my head, I'm thinking to myself, yeah. Oh wait, no, there's a show in Guyver 1. He's gonna probably get his ass kicked too. That didn't last so long.
Yeah. So yeah, so that was episode 11. Some good information. Presented, find out some more history, things like that, which is always good.
Yeah.
So then at the start of let's see, episode 12. Hold on. Forgetting my order that I have to do this in.
No,
so at the start of episode 12, we see both Guyvers using their audio attacks to kind of push back the hyperzoonoids, and then activating their, hover capabilities and flying out of the tunnel that Show had created.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed it, but since Guyver 3 went up first and Show was following them behind, I noticed as he was going up, he was spinning around and using the audio attack to destroy the tunnel that he had created behind him.
Who, Guyver 1?
Yeah, Guyver 1.
Oh, okay.
So like as he's coming up, they do an overhead look, and you see like the tunnel walls collapsing down, and I think they cut to the hyperzoonoids like having dirt fall on them. I can't remember.
No, they do. Yeah, I remember.
So, but yeah, this is Show carrying his dad out of the tunnels. So, what'd you think of this opening sequence here?
No, I thought it was cool. I thought that, like, it was pretty smart of, like, I think Show and Agito to be like, all right, we're probably not going to do that well against these guys. Let's just use these attacks just to at least daze them for a bit so we can just get out of there. So I was like, all right, you're smart about that. You're like, we can't take them on. So let's just go. Let's grab the people we came to save and run, because we can't fight back yet. So
yeah. And it was just cool to see them, using different abilities, and being able to move around and stuff at the same time. So pretty much quickly after that, there's another confrontation. I'm trying to see if I think I got a picture. So yeah, there's another confrontation. Two of the hyperzoonoids managed to catch up to him. The stag beetle looking one and the electric eel one. And the electric eel attacks Show, electrocutes him and stuff right in front of his dad.
Yeah.
So there's, they have their confrontation. And then the stag beetle manages to grab Show's dad again. So, and jumps back down below. So we got a little shot of that going on.
Yeah.
And what was interesting is, as this is happening, the electric eel guy smacks with one of his little tendrils the control metal and basically shuts down Guyver 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, what were your thoughts when that happened?
Well, I kind of expected, like, these things are pretty strong. So the fact that it could take out, like, the Guyver suit with, like, one hit, or just, like, attacking the... Well, I mean, usually you can take them out by one hit with the control.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That wasn't really that surprising. Because, like, again, it shows how much, like, of course he's going to lose or something like that. Because, like, the show can't freaking develop him as a better fighter. It's just like, no, he's in the Guyver suit and he has to get his ass kicked every time. Like, come on, fight. So,
So yeah, so pretty much after this, Show's unconscious. So they pick him up, and Agito tells him, "Hey, I got a safe house nearby," because they're talking about the nearby town being controlled by the police and everything. And like just before this all happened, Show does introduce them to Masaki and says, "Hey, he's cool." So, but she helps them get back to the safe house. So at the safe house, they're just kind of normal stuff. The one thing that kind of stood out to me was when Tetsuo comes in and sees Mizaki working, like cleaning his gun and doing maintenance on it and stuff. And he's like, that's a really big gun. And Mizaki offers to let him hold it.
Yeah.
And he almost can't even pick it up.
Yeah, at first he's like, "Yeah, this is cool." Oh God. He's like, "Oh, why is it so heavy?"
Yeah, and so yeah, he's basically. He said, if I remember correctly, he said it was like a 44 Magnum, but with basically like a shotgun shell.
Yeah, something akin to that.
Yeah, that was like how he described it. So,
which also is pretty. Also, this image is pretty funny to me.
Yeah,
this like nerdy looking guy with a huge gun, just like holding it up.
But yeah, it's like after he gets it up to this point, he pretty much drops it right back down and almost drops it on his foot, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which just shows like, and it goes to show how much power Mizaki has. How strong he is, which, is like, okay, he's a pretty skinny looking guy. So that's, what's up with him?
Yeah. You have the idea that there's more to him than what meets the eye. So you're like,
Yeah. So let's see here. So yeah. So then let's that. So after that, we get to, let's see. Oh yeah. So we get introduced to two new characters, Shizu and her grandfather.
Yeah.
I didn't catch the grandfather's name.
I did not either. I forgot his name. I just call him old guy.
Grandpa No Eyes.
Yeah, Grandpa Noise. Yeah, who never opens his eyes. One of those anime characters that does not open their eyes like at all.
Which is funny because Vegito points that out to him later on when they're like going to drive somewhere. He's like, "You can't see."
He's like, not with your old eyes. I'll drive. Give him the damn wheel.
Yeah.
Like, what are you thinking?
But what was pretty interesting is Shizu, cooks a meal for everybody and feed them and stuff like that. And Mizuki's like instantly jealous of her.
I can't stand this character. This like, oh no, like this girl is like taking my man. I'm like, first of all, he's not even your man. You barely even got the guts to even talk to him. Second of all, this is not the freaking time, all right? We're being hunted down by these monsters, but it's freaking secret organization. And you're worried about a girl going on a guy that you barely even freaking talk to at this point? Shut up.
Yeah.
God. I want somebody just to call her out. I'm waiting for her brother. Her brother, my God, Tetsuro. She's your sister. Call her out, dude. Like, why don't you do that more?
Because he's in his own little sci-fi world.
So, still, like, you can still talk to her or something, or go like, listen, sis, shut up. Not the time, all right? Don't worry about your hormones later, all right? We're trying right now. We're trying to worry about survival, right? Try not to die. So stop. How does that sound? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Moving
on. What I did appreciate though about this this kind of moment is we do find a little bit more about Agito's past.
That is true. Yeah.
So and where his motivation came from, and we find out what Shizu's motivation is. You know, and see how long that they've been friends, and so it was I appreciated that. And then after all this drama, we cut to Kronos headquarters, and we met Barkus in the last episode, which we forgot to mention. And he's another head of Kronos. He's another bigwig. So we cut to him and Richard Guyot, which I thought it was like GIO or something like that, but it's GUYOT. That's how.
Yeah, I know. Which is a crazy name.
So we cut to see them talking in front of a. This one's going to be hard to see, but they're in front of a tube that has a new enzyme being created.
Yeah.
So
it's supposed to be like another form of a zoonoid, basically.
Yeah. So we met a previous version of enzyme in the past. This one's slightly different. So apologize for the poor image, but it's best I can do.
Try and work with those folks.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts when you found out that they were creating a new enzyme? And
I just thought to myself, I was just like, oh my God, again? How many freaking upgrades can I give these things, man? Just like, oh, we're going to upgrade this one. And we're going to upgrade this guy. I'm like, oh my God, enough with the upgrades. Can't you give the Guyvers the chance? Please. Let them be able to stand a chance against your goons, at least, guys. Come on.
And then pretty much right after this, we see Sho determined to go and rescue his dad, and Agito hops out there and says, "Yep, I'll go with you. Let's do this."
Yeah.
So
because that was, like Agito was just like, or Agito, he's like, I'm gonna help you because I'm gonna use you later, buddy. All right, don't forget that.
Yeah.
Be a tool for me.
So yeah, that was the end of episode 12. Um, episode 13, pretty much right off the bat,
Yeah, it starts off with that.
We see Sho and Agito already disguised and
God, that's
in the base, and already found his dad.
Yep, they're just like, found you. And again, even like Agito kind of like thinks about that when they're running away. He's like, this was like way
too
too
easy.
easy. Like there was literally only one guard. Like what happened?
Yeah,
And you already show Guion and what's the other guy's name?
Barkus.
Yeah, Barkus. They already like noticed that. They're like, oh, I already found the dad. Cool. Well, we'll stick the upgrade zoonoids on them, but we also have another key. We also have another thing up our sleeve. But we'll demonstrate that later in the episode. I'm like, oh boy. Even I kind of knew at that point. I was like, oh no, they probably did something to his dad, didn't they?
Yeah.
I had a feeling. I was like, let me get, because I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, let's see. Guyver was originally made in the 80s. A lot of 80s manga was very, very dark. So I was like, and the main character usually has no family or he loses all his family. I'm like, Sho still has his dad. Huh. Let's think about that for a second. I had a feeling. I was like, oh
no. So they, like you said, they break out. Agito's thinking, hey, something's off. Sho starts carrying his dad because he's complaining about being weak, and they do get confronted, and I can't remember. Was it a couple of the hyperzoonoids again?
Yeah, it was the beetle one, and I think the electric eel one, and then the other two, the rhino and the porcupine-looking one, were sent to the safe house.
Yeah, so it was three. Yeah, three of them, and then the other two were at the safe house.
Yeah, I think there were. Was there three of them?
Yeah, it was.
All three. Right. Yeah, you're right.
So Agito is Guyver 3. So tells Sho, "Hey, take your dad, get to the safe house. I'll keep these guys distracted."
Yeah,
and using his bravado, like, I'm more than powerful enough to kill all of you.
Which he's bluffing. Like, okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Maybe pull a buster out like right now. Then yeah, maybe you could, but you're not. You're just talking.
Yeah.
Again, like I feel like these characters need to take more of like an opportunity whenever these villains start talking. Like, my power exceeds your. At that point, I'd be like, yeah, okay. Open up my chest and just blast them. As soon as they're talking to me, I'm like, all right, goodbye. Like, let the monologue and then go, all right, die.
There was something I remember seeing, and I don't know. I feel it might have been Deadpool where somebody was like monologuing and he just hits them or something like that. Might be something else. I don't know. Yeah.
That does sound familiar. Yeah.
Because
I remember there was an episode, I think, in the last season of Attack on Titan where one of them was like transforming into a Titan, and Eren already in his like Titan form, literally like punches them mid transformation. I'm like, you know what? More people need to do that. More people just need to attack them when they're in the middle of their transformation. Like, no. Like, take notes, Goku. Maybe do that next time you see Frieza take on another form. Just shoot him right then and there when he's in the middle.
Yeah, but that's not. No, Vegeta might do that, but Goku would never do that.
That's why. Oh my God, Goku. You endanger all of us just to get a good fight. I'm like, kill him, you idiot. That's why I like Vegeta better, because he knows I'm like, no, screw this. Die. Yeah. Gallic gun, die. Like, that's the thing with all animes, honestly. They just stand there and watch as somebody transforms. Like, kill them. What are you doing? Like, attack or something.
So Yeah. So so we get to see Show and his dad, running off, and
Yeah.
somehow they miraculously have time to stop and have a
Thank you.
heart
How about I
heart
say,
to heart
why would you
conversation.
stop? I was like, no, keep. When the dad said, I need to take a break, he's like, yeah, here, I can put you down. I'm like, no, what? Run! What are you doing? You're in the middle of a you have freaking Agito fighting for his life, and then you got the other two at the safe house with, let me remind you, mostly just regular humans. Like, you need the run. You don't got time to talk.
Yeah. So yeah, they have a heart to heart conversation. Show's dad sitting down. He cries in his lap. And the thing that kind of bugged me about from like this point on,
yeah,
is Show is in pajamas.
Well, he did leave like out of his bed in pajamas.
I know, but he was in the Kronos goon costume.
He put on that costume.
So that should have still been on him.
Like, maybe he took it off before he transformed.
No, he transformed as they were running.
Well, I don't know, DJ. I didn't write the damn show. I don't know,
but that's like the one of the things that stood out to me. It's like he's in the costume.
Now he's in pajamas.
And the armor forms around the costume.
Yeah.
And now he takes the armor off and he's back in his pajamas.
I don't know.
Like, what?
Inconsistency with animation, right?
But it continues through the rest.
I don't care. It's freaking inconsistency, all right? This anime had a small budget, it seems like, so they didn't care about the suit. They just went like, I'll put him in pajamas. What's he in the suit? Shut up. No one care.
So, but yeah, after this loving, touching moment, as they're getting ready to start, continuing their little jaunt back to the safe house.
Yeah.
Barkus uses his mind powers to activate Enzyme 2.
Yes, he's like, awaken, kill the Guyver, and then you realize, oh no.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have these freaking tendrils, or not tendrils, but like these appendages that come out of Show's dad's back, and then he turns into that thing, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
No.
So, yeah, first you see these tendrils pop out of Show's dad and swipe at the Guyver armor, which knocks him down. And he turns around, and yeah, it's pretty horrifying to see like these tendril things just sticking out of a human's back.
Yeah, you're like, what the? It's like, oh, look at the thing.
And so yeah, then he transforms, and all the fun starts. So we got them, going back and forth. Show's trying to hold back because it's his dad.
Yeah,
Godzilla again.
Ignore him. Don't walk in front of the freaking camera again.
So, and then while that's going on, we cut back to the safe house, which the two hyperzoanoids over there decide to, are instructed to attack. And so Misaki, having his big gun, tries to confront him, but gun doesn't do anything.
Yeah, that gun doesn't do jack. You're like, I don't know.
But somehow he manages to catch the rhino's hands and stop him.
Yeah, because again, you're thinking to yourself, we don't know everything about this character, so when you see that happen, you're like, oh,
yeah,
he has almost the same strength as these guys. Like, what's going on? And lo and behold, he transforms, and he's a freaking Zoolord, apparently.
Yeah, so I mean, I do have a somewhat of a picture of that too.
Yeah, or he's a prototype Zoolord, as they like to put it in the show.
So let me
But yeah, no, he transforms, and then he manages to actually at first he catches their hands, and then he uses the communication that Dr.
Barkus has.
I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. Barkus has, and he tells him, all right, you two fight each other and kill each other. And then Barkus comes back and he's like, what the hell are you two doing? Kill him. And they're like, what? And they're both confused. And he's like, all right, you know what? Enough. Let me transform. He turns into this picture we have here.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. And they're like, oh. And both Gil and Barkus are like, what the? Nope. Get out.
Get out of there.
Oh, both of you out. Run. Retreat now. They're like, okay. Which is good for him because, like,
shortly after that, he passes out.
Yeah, he wasn't able to use anything. I'm like, oh, that was a bit of a letdown, but okay.
Yeah. So all that happens, and then we cut back to our good friend Sho having to fight with his dad as the Enzyme 2.
Yes.
And then we get to see this lovely occurrence after they have their back and forth for a little bit. So, what was your thoughts when you saw the enzyme just basically crush his brain?
I was like, oh, because I had a feeling I thought they were going to do some sort of that cliche where the dad was able to like fight off the enzyme like a tiny bit, like stop him from killing him.
Yeah.
But then they didn't do that. They just went, no. He slapped at him. I'm like, they didn't do that. He actually attacked him. I'm like, oh, great. And then, that takes him out. And as soon as the red eyes like turned on, I was like, oh no, the suit take over now. I'm like, this is even worse.
Yeah. So basically right after this happens, Sho falls over. He's unconscious. And was it let's see.
Yeah, Tetsuo
and
Metsu
Masaki.
Masaki, and even Agito shows up too.
Yeah, he gets there a little bit later, but
but no, they show up first. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, they show up first, and they catch sight of the Guyver's eyes like glowing. They turn red all of a sudden when he's on the ground. And he like gets back up, and then that's when what's the guy's name again?
Masaki?
Yeah, Mizaki. That's when Mizaki tells Tetsuro that this is just like the suit being on autopilot, basically.
Yeah.
And it's acting on instinct with the enzyme too. So it basically just sees a zoonoid. It's like, all right, instant termination, kill, because that's what the Guyvers are made for, just to kill the zoonoids.
Yeah.
And then
and
that enzyme barely stands a chance with the Guyver like at full capacity, with the suit being in control. So.
Yeah, so this is after he was back up because you could see part of the crest missing.
Yeah.
So this is the auto mode, and just as they're getting ready to fight each other again. Trying to see if I had anything else for this. I don't think so. Yeah, so they go back and forth. Guyver takes some damage, some more, blasts off limbs from Enzyme 2, and then opens up one
side of the Magbuster. Yeah.
One side, blasts it away.
Obliterates it.
Yeah.
You're like, damn it.
Was going to try and get a screenshot of that, but it was too hard to make anything out.
Yeah, I was going to say that might be too bright.
So they Tetsuo is screaming like, "No, what did you do?" And
you just killed your dad, you idiot.
And basically, after Enzyme 2 is destroyed, the Guyver unit just kind of goes into standby mode. It just stays there.
We'll also mention too that Messi also mentions that the brain piece is actually like healing.
Yeah,
they were fighting, so it was already like starting to heal. So it was like it was already completely healed by the time it already killed the Enzyme 2. So yeah, but then Sho takes over again, and that's when Makishima shows up in Guyver 3 unit, and he's like, "What happened? What I miss?" And Sho's just like, "Dad, you there?"
Well, and that's the thing. Like he showed, like just as like he's kind of surveying, what happened.
Yeah.
He's like, "Did I do that?" Um, the episode ends.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
So,
The no is the next episode.
yeah. So in episode 14, they show the group meeting up at the safe house and agreeing that they all have to get out of there. That the
Yeah.
safe house is no
At
longer.
this point, yeah, they know they're not safe because the two Zonoids found them. So they're like, all right, well, this is useless then. We're leaving.
Yeah. And in this, we do a lot of back and forth. Again, so basically, as soon as they agree, hey, we got to flee, cuts back to Barkus and Gyot discussing Masaki's abilities, and that's when we find out that he's a proto-Zoa Lord.
Yeah, and he was a test subject from them as well.
And we find out eventually that he's actually the prototype for Gyot's form.
Yeah, that's right.
So then, after their brief conversation, we cut back to the group and we see a flashback of Sho regaining consciousness and, like you were saying, realizing what he did, and the Guyver armor just disengaging as he's screaming to the sky.
Yeah, the classic, the Darth Vader. No. You all remember that great scene, right? That happened in the movie. Yeah, we all loved when Darth Vader said no. That wasn't stupid at all.
So through all this, Sho's been passed out because the shock of the trauma and everything,
yeah,
caused him to pass out. So he's thrown into the car. Everybody loads up. They take off into the two cars, and this is where that comment we were talking about with the old man and his inability to see comes into play.
But then it's not even Makishima that drives. It's then Shizu's just like, you know what, I'll drive. It's just like, all right.
Yeah. Well, she's like, well, you're still tired from your confrontations and everything.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah, she does mention that.
So, but not too long after that, after they start driving, they're confronted by 3 enzyme tubes. They get stopped in the middle of the road.
They never stop. They're just like, nope, keep sending stuff after them. Go, go, go. They're not giving them a second to rest.
So Masaki tries to step forward first, but like his powers just don't work at first, and one of the enzymes actually takes a swipe at him. So Agito, despite being tired, he jumps out and he's like, all right, I'll take him on. And he transforms, and this is his first time encountering an enzyme.
Mm-hmm.
And so he just thinks it's another regular zoonoid and punches one in the stomach and goes, ow, that doesn't feel good.
He's like, usually it's the other way around. Usually they hurt when I punch them. What?
Yeah.
For like a second, he's like, that's weird. And then that's when the enzyme 2 just goes, it's like smacks him back. Like,
So yeah, he pulls his hand out, it's burning, and they're like, yeah, that's an enzyme. It's gonna destroy your armor. So as they're having that fun.
Yeah, and then Sho tries to step up too.
No.
Oh, that's not right.
No.
Oh,
one of the enzymes picks up the car that he's still.
Oh, that's right. I was trying to remember. I'm like, wait, doesn't throw the car or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. The car with Sho in it, and Mizuki yells like, "Sho, wake up!" And Sho wakes up. He's like, "Huh? Oh!"
That's the thing. He doesn't even wake up. I don't.
No, he does. He wakes up for like a split second because
before he gets thrown.
Yeah, allows it, and that's that second between. And as I'm throwing the car, he wakes up and he's like, "Huh? Oh God!" He's like, "Oh crap! Wait!" And that's when the enzyme just like tosses the car, and it like literally explodes, and that's when everybody's like, "Oh, the Sho's dying."
So yeah, they're all freaking out, thinking that Sho's dead, and then Guyver 1 comes out of the flaming carnage.
Like red eyes and everything. It's like steaming and everything. I'm like, oh yes.
And
Yes, at this point.
Then he powers down.
Yep. And then that's how I'm just like, I'm out. Just give me one cool scene with the freaking Guyver one. Come on. Give me that rage moment, guys. I'm waiting for it.
So then our good friend Masaki manages to finally transform,
Mm-hmm.
and so we get a little bit better.
Yeah, he actually does a pretty good. Yeah, he does a pretty good, decent job against the enzymes.
Yeah, so like right off the bat, he as soon as he first transforms, he does this like energy blade attack.
I literally yelled out Ultraman when I saw it. I was like, Ultraman!
Yeah, pretty much
like,
the same thing.
It didn't look like Ultraman's like yellow beam that he uses, like attack,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm trying to think of it.
Spacium beam or whatever.
Yeah, it's like that. Not the elbow beam, but like you know what I mean. It literally looks like Ultraman attack. That's basically what I'm saying. He just like completely annihilates that enzyme.
Yeah, cuts it in half, and then he just manhandles the other two. Like,
yeah. Well, the other two, he's like, well, I got to take care of these ones fast because my energy is already starting to diminish.
Yeah.
He manages to take out, I think, like both of them in like the same hit. I think.
Well, one of them.
Yeah, one of them tries to like attack him, but like he puts up like this shield or something like that, and then and then that one cuts it in like a bunch of different pieces.
And then the other one, he jumps on it and just like snaps its neck.
Yeah, I think he just like rips the head off, and then it just falls down.
Yeah. So, yeah, I should have grabbed a screenshot of that slicer attack. I forgot.
Yeah, that was cool. There should have been some that popped up after he broke the last one's neck. They just went like KO. Dramatic finish,
Fatality.
Brutality. That or like finish him.
So, yeah. So, what was interesting about all this is that Sho doesn't recognize the enzyme 2.
Yeah. He's like, huh?
He's like, where's the, where he does mention like something feels familiar about this, but he doesn't recognize it.
Yeah, because when he's in the suit and he's going to attack, there's like a quick flash of his dad and the enzyme too, and then all of a sudden the suit just like jumps off of him.
Yep.
And that's what he's like, what the? Because like you're thinking to yourself, oh, does he not like remember anything? Is it like, was it? Well, he doesn't really remember anything, but is it like, did he like just like in the split second like after getting control of the suit back and killing his dad, was that like, it was probably just too much for him, so he just like was passed out, and the last thing he remembers is just getting knocked out by the enzyme, the prior enzyme, because the suit just took over after that point.
So after the enzymes are wiped out, they start traveling again, all in one car now, and as they're traveling, Masaki or Murakami, they switch back and forth between his names. So he starts explaining more about the history of everything, especially like where he comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that they talk about is the Zoa Lords. And so we get a little shot of the group here.
Yeah, and apparently the Zoa Lords are all of the higher-ups for Kronos.
Yeah, which, it's pretty crazy. Hey, you become a CEO, you're a Zoa Lord.
Yeah, I think there's like, what they said, like 12 of them, I think.
Yeah, 12 or 13, something like that.
Yeah, I was like, good God.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Zoa Lords. I'm like, I don't know, you're going to be able to take on that many.
So he talks about how there was a scientist who was forced to work for him, and basically freed him, like helped him to resist and everything. And we do get a brief conversation between Richard and Barkus talking about the same incident.
Yeah.
It
wasn't just me. What's the guy's name again?
Saki or Murakami.
Yeah, Murakami. It wasn't just like Murakami that was released. It was also like I think a bunch of other like prototypes as well, but they all didn't like last too long.
Yeah, there was four total. Murakami and then 3 others. And
they were destined to lose then.
Yeah.
Prototypes. I'm like, oh, never mind.
Well, he convinced all of them to try and attack Gyut before he was completed.
I think Richard, I think they show it too. That I think like he was still kind of like in a tube. I think being worked on. So they were like, all right, and now was a chance to kill him. But then the other lords showed up and were like, nope, and he just took them all out.
Yeah. So the poor scientist that was trying to resist them, he got killed, as well as the three other prototypes. But before they died, they managed to help get Murakami out.
Yeah.
So we find out that he was actually a reporter before all this went on.
Yeah, and it was him and a few other reporters. I think they were like sent out somewhere to like investigate something.
Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil. They were sent out to Brazil, but then I think then they showed that all the other reporters got attacked by zoonoids and were killed by them, except for him because I think he was taking them at the Kronos.
Yeah, so pretty interesting information revealed in this.
I'm glad. Yeah, I was happy we got that finally. I was like, all right, can we get answers, please? So when he said, "Let me tell you my backstory," I'm like, oh, finally, thank you. Answers, explanations, good, thank you. I want this.
And that's pretty much where episode 14 ends.
Yeah, and then episode 15,
and like Murakami, like right before it ends, he alludes to there being more to the
origin about the Guyver.
Yeah,
because like you see that the Guyver, what is it, like the case or whatever, the Guyver case, kind of like floats towards the screen, and then that's when the episode cuts off, and you're like, damn it.
So then, at the start of episode 15, we're getting more of a explanation about like everything.
Yeah.
So the group's like, yeah, we want to hear everything. So
he's like, all right.
Murakami explains to him that basically us humans are experiments created by these aliens called the Creators. And nobody knows if they're all the same species or different ones or whatever. But they came to Earth. We're trying to figure out the perfect bioweapon. And they created like the dinosaurs and all the animals and everything else. And eventually discovered how to create humans as the most adaptable and aggressive bioweapons. And then so Mizuki doesn't like this info.
She's like, what?
Yeah, so she starts freaking out because everybody else is just calm and accepting it and everything.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, this is like all new to her, and she's like been like progressively seeing all this new stuff. Like first she saw a zoonoid, then she saw Sho become the Guyver, then she got kidnapped, then so I'm just like, all right, fair enough. At the same time, I'm like, all right, don't try to be too whiny about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the other guys are just like, because at this point they're already kind of used to this, so they're just like, whatever. Like I turned into a freaking Guyver. I'm already fighting a bunch of other monsters and crap. My dad's dead. Like I got more on my plate. All right. So hearing all this, I'm like, whatever. Just continue.
So after Murakami, explains, hey, like all humans are bioweapons, engineered and stuff, starts talking about what went on with the Guyver units. And as he's talking about how the Guyver unit, basically freed whoever the bearer was from the control of the aliens, the Creators.
Yeah, and that's what aliens are just like, oh, that's not good.
We do get this flash, and this is Guyver 0. Oh, so this is like to test Guyver like back in the past. And so it's revealed that they can't be controlled, and Murakami hypothesizes that because he knows that what Gyute's true intentions are, he hypothesizes that the Creators may have left because they realized that a Zoolord with the Guyver unit would be near impossible to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And so he hypothesizes that was part of the reason why they left the Earth, because nobody knows the true reason.
He was saying like a bunch of different reasons. Could be that they just probably like had a different calling, or there was like a intergalactic war going on that ended, or there was like some other outside force that like made them leave. So it was just like, huh.
What did you think about this? The look of this Guyver unit.
I thought it just kind of looked the same as like Guyver 1, because I thought that was just like supposed to be like reminiscent of Guyver 1, but I had no idea that was actually supposed to be like Guyver 0. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it looks interesting. Like, I can't tell if that's just a coloring of the back of like the flashback or that's his actual coloring, but like it looks like
green.
Yeah, greenish, kind of like the Guyver 2 unit that we saw.
Yeah, the Guyver 2 was a yellowish color.
Yeah, that's right.
This one, Guyver 0, is greenish, and there's a little bit of difference. He's got more of a pointed chin.
Yeah, that's right.
And the audio orbs are kind of like on the sides instead of over each other, like how on Guyver 1.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a pretty cool design.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that the creator kind of like made some like differences between the Guyvers and they just repeat the design over and over again. I'm like, at least you made them look different.
Yeah. So as that conversation's going on, we cut back to Guyot shortly after Murakami, talked about Guyot's plans to like rule, basically, and why he's so fascinated with the Guyver units and wanting to get one for himself. We see basically Guyot confirming that. He's talking to himself. He's frustrated. He's like, worried that Barkus knows what he's up to. So he kind of decides to take matters into his own hands.
Yeah.
And thought your camera cut out for a second there.
Sorry, my cat running around again.
So after we see Guyot being frustrated and saying he's going to do something about trying to prevent his plans from being interrupted.
Yeah, which he does.
We see Mizuki running away from the group, which eventually Sho realizes, hey, like Mizuki's been gone too long. I'm going to go look for her.
Yeah.
So he takes off, and pretty much right after that.
And as he does, freaking long behold, Guyot shows up in his freaking like this medieval looking armor, freaking Final Fantasy looking.
Yeah. And then
get up, and I'm like, oh god, yeah, that.
And then within minutes, he's in this form.
He's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done messing around. Zolord form, you ignite. And he just takes on the Zolord form, and you're like, oh god.
So he transforms. He reveals he's got 2 more enzyme 2s with him. So they transform. Guyver 3 says, okay, he'll take on the enzymes. Murakami transforms into his proto form.
Yeah. Which it's funny because I'm looking at both of their like forms. I'm just like both of you stand no chance. Both of you are gonna die. Because again, like they elevate the villains so much that I literally have like no hope for any of the Guyvers or the prototype Zolord. I'm like, none of you are gonna win.
So as Guyver 3 is fighting the 2 enzymes, he does start taking damage and stuff. He's getting cut up and everything. Parts of him, kind of melted. And miraculously, they just disintegrate on their own.
And apparently they weren't, I think, fully complete.
Yeah, Guyot comments, oh yeah, I pulled them out too soon.
yeah, that's why he's like, I probably took him out of the thing too soon. It's just like Shigaraki in My Hero. They updated him to like try to make him the new all for one.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be at 100%, but at the time when the war happened, he was only at 75%. So he's like, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be at full power, but he wasn't.
So, and then after they disintegrate, Murakami in his proto form manages to blind
him.
Blind Guyot, which gives Guyver 3 a chance to use only one of his Mega Smashers because the other one was still too damaged.
Yeah, and that was probably that was a pretty big hit too.
Yeah,
pretty cool. Wow, I was like, damn.
Basically, like right in his face.
Yeah, and it was just like, ah.
And after all the smoke clears and everything, Gyute's still standing there, and he's like, "All right, I'm done with all of you," and then
He's
just
like, my turn, and he
goes
just
supernova, and so we get this lovely scene. Where'd it go? Oh, up here. I'm going to work on doing this better next time. So basically, we see Sho and Mizuki running up to the base of a mountain.
Right.
And
literally seeing it like crumble and explode when they get to it.
Yeah. And it, and then that, like, I was like, how did they, what the heck? How far did she run away, man? Like, she ran down a cliff.
That is true. Yeah, you know what? You bring up a good point. Like, wait a minute. Like, how did they? Wait. I thought they were on the same level as them. When the hell did they like run downhill?
Yeah, and how did Sho find her if she ran down?
They didn't show anything with the camera like going like to the side or anything like that when she was running away. They were still like a stationary like frame. So you're like, wait a second, how did? Wait.
So, but yeah, after this supernova explosion, we see just this crater, and that's when the episode ends. And so we have no clue what happened to our heroes.
Yes, who lived, who died, who knows?
So
I didn't wait because I went to the next episode after. I was like, no, you're showing me who lived and who didn't. Damn it.
Well, I'm holding off until next week. So, but I mean, I have seen it before, so I know.
I'm about to say, I was like, I'm sorry, I've seen the show, so you already know who lives.
Yeah.
My guess is that probably almost all of them lived because I don't know, plot armor.
Yeah,
literal plot armor.
So overall, for these 5 episodes, what were your thoughts?
I thought this was when the show like started getting a lot more entertaining. A lot. It started to step up for me a lot because we got some very interesting explanations. They upped the drama a lot. The villains are actually not just sending out freaking like
cannon fodder.
Yeah, cannon fodder. They're like, all right, enough. I'm gonna go out there myself. Gil finally shows up. I'm like, oh, finally, you're actually doing something for once, and not just sitting in your stupid lair like every other villain and every other like work of fiction. But it was interesting.
Pompadour.
Yeah, I even do like that like detail where not even like the villains are like very fond of each other. Like Gio and then Barkus. Gio's is like, I'm just trying to take control so that way I can kill you and I can take control of like everything. And Barkus is like, huh. Yeah. I already kind of suspect that, so I'm just waiting for the perfect time to like get a jump on you, so that way you don't achieve that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Gyut's basically the last one that's part of the group, so it's like the baby of the family's like pissed off at the rest of the family and wants all the power.
Oh wait, he's the youngest out of all the other Zoolords?
Well, he was the last one.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So as far as like Zooloid forms, he's the youngest. Not necessarily like youngest human, but
I know. Yeah, I didn't mean like that. I mean, it's been like it's the youngest out of all the Zoolords. It's like the latest to come out. Yeah, but that's interesting too. It's like the youngest one is just like, well, I hate all of you, so let me take your power from you.
Yeah. So yeah, it's. I know we get to meet one or two more other Zoolords as the series continues.
Oh, cool.
Before the end, so.
Well, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
And it was interesting too when they were talking about like a Zoolord taking on a Guyver suit. I thought to myself, there was like a quick flash. I was like, wonder if Godzilla took on a Guyver suit. Wonder how much destruction that thing would cause.
Well, what's interesting is in the live action Guyver 2 movie, they kind of played on this. Because they had a Zoonoid that was like a hyper Zoonoid, kind of like the Stag Beetle one.
Uh-huh.
I think that was his form. And he found the second Guyver unit and activated it, and it was damaged like in the anime series.
Yeah.
But so did you ever see the second Guyver live action movie?
I saw bits and parts of it. Okay. Like the first Guyver movie, I only saw bits and parts of it. Like I haven't really seen them like their completion. I've only seen like bits and pieces here and there.
I will say the second one has some really cool scenes.
Yeah, a lot of people say that it is like a lot because they went from PG-13 from the first one to R, so they were like, we'll step up the violence for you guys.
Yeah. There's like one really cool scene where the hero jumps off a cliff while he's trying to like run somewhere, and he calls out the Guyver, and you see it just spread out behind him, and then like attached to him, and he just lands and just starts running.
That's cool. I like
Yeah.
that. That
So
probably looks like crap because they didn't really have a high budget, but it might look cool.
it was actually surprisingly really cool looking. Like
Oh, really?
for
Was it like puppetry they did, or was it like CGI when he like called
no,
it?
this was still in the mid '90s, so there wasn't. I mean, they had some, CGI stuff, but
Yeah.
it was still early stages, and I mean, this looked pretty practical.
Yeah, okay.
So
Might have to check that scene out then.
but yeah, the main baddie in that one, he's fighting Guyver in his like Zoa form first,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going back and forth, and then he's like, "I got a special surprise for you," and he activates the Guyver unit on top of his Zoanoid form, and it looks badass.
Yeah. No, I feel like it would look pretty cool because it's like a monster wearing a mecha suit. Like, how can that not look cool?
Yeah.
And how has Toho not done that yet? Where they like make Godzilla wear Mecha Godzilla suit like freaking Iron Man? How cool would that be if like
there was
gets destroyed and Godzilla's just like, what do I do now? And then all of a sudden all the pieces just start getting on top of Godzilla. Like, what the hell?
there was actually a Godzilla toy years ago, and I think the Godzilla version was similar to like the 95, 94, 95 era.
Mm-hmm.
But he actually had armor plates. I had the toy.
Wasn't
I
it
don't know
from
where
Treadmasters? Wasn't it from Treadmasters?
I don't remember the company. I didn't pay attention back then.
Okay.
But I had that armor toy, and he had like armor plates on his legs and his arm and his chest.
Yeah, that's just that sounds like a Treadmaster toy because I think they did a line where it was like bio kaiju or something like that, and they all had like mecha armor on top of them. Like I had one for Dan, King Ghidorah, Godzilla, Space Godzilla. I think Gigan. I think Anguirus too, or Baragon. One of the two. So, I think Mothra even got freaking armor. Will you stop going from the camera? Yeah.
So, but yeah, it kind of looked because it was all silver armor, so it kind of looked like Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah,
like,
but they needed to do like how insane would that be? They brought that to a movie. They were like, "Oh, now Godzilla's wearing Mecha Godzilla's armor." Like, what? That'd be crazy. But yeah,
yep. That'll be the first one for the return to the rubber suits.
Yeah, whenever that happens.
Yeah. So, well, another good conversation.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. So again, if you're watching this far, thank you for watching our video. Please feel free to leave your thoughts and feelings about the series if you've watched it down in the comments.
Tell us you like it. Tell us if you hate it. Tell us you've never seen it.
Tell us if you disagree or agree with us, whatever.
Yes. We're all open to opinions.
And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend tracking down the series and watching it.
It's on YouTube for free, so it's easily accessible, so you can watch it whenever you want.
And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And we'll catch you next time. Oh, yeah. I always forget that. Notifications. Turn on notifications. So, all right. And check out our friend's channel, Sci-Fi Nerds.
Yes. Catch us on every other Thursday.
We'll see you then.
Farewell.
And...
Godspeed. Godspeed, Spider-Man.